No, we're on country music.
We do. Our 5 members of Public Works are here. We will start with the Public Works Committee meeting. First item is number 11 on the agenda, resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works City Engineer to amend funding agreement, WEO2 for reimbursement. Been moved by Alderman Weigel, seconded by Alderman Ranky. Is there further discussion? A quick comment from Mike. He'll just explain
It's a
it.
continuation of a program that we have with MMSD right now, basically sump pump removal to get another $50,000 of their money to spend on sump pump removal.
Do they just doubling it for all the communities, or is this is not actually doubling? This is just a
Well, it is, we
refunding
already
of it?
spent the 50
Yeah.
in there, so now it's another 50 for the next year and a
Okay.
half or whatever. So
And are
it's
they
all
doing-
voluntary.
and are they doing similar stuff in other communities? I understand other communities don't do the same thing with the money, but are they
The whole
matching
intent,
them?
the whole intent is I&I reduction.
Yeah.
So whatever that community figures,
Yeah.
but for us, sump pumps are clearly the biggest bang.
Any further discussion? Been moved by Alderman Weigel, seconded by Alderman Ranky. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, carried. Number 12, item we're going to hold. Mike Lewis can answer any questions. If anybody has any questions on it, I hope you read through it. I don't see too much downside in it. I had a few questions. I already talked with Mike about them. But if anybody has anything, I'd like to see this back on the agenda in 2 weeks. That hopefully we might be able to actually vote on it by then. So I would either have you address questions during the week, call Mike, or call Michael May. But everybody should have got a copy.
You
And
don't want any now.
I'm sorry.
You don't want any questions now.
Sure, if you have a
No, I
question
just
right now,
100%
absolutely.
assessment, which I liked, which is very similar to the parking lot on 84th in Cleveland. I just didn't know how far did the assessment go? You know, north to south, east to west. You know, the guy
That's all based on the study that's done. That's
that
the
you
engineering.
guys are going
yeah.
to do. You engineer.
And that's where we bring back to you. This is what we think
Okay.
the affected areas compared to the impacted areas, and then of course you vote on that or
And-
do as you wish.
Yeah, you keep going, and
and,
then I'll.
and I'll be short.
Oh,
And,
no, take one.
Alderman, all right. No, and Alderman Weigel mentioned something that I didn't know about, your sustainable bump outs and everything, which we would be looking at that also, which I never knew existed until tonight when you mentioned it. So those will all be explored.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The program, my understanding, is based off of Milwaukee's. And Milwaukee has a program already. And if anybody wants any numbers of how many requests were made and how it works, a packet gets sent to whoever starts it, and then it kind of goes from there. There'll be instructions on how they follow through to move forward with the program. But again, I would encourage, you got 2 weeks to get a hold of Mike or Michael, either one, and I think they're pretty versed into the program to answer any of your questions. And then when we come back in 2 weeks, we don't even have to vote on it again that night. But that's when really to come with questions. If you have any,
Okay.
we can discuss it again in 2 weeks and hammer it out then.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure, absolutely, Alderman
Mr.
Ranky.
Chair? Okay. My concern is actually the costs. The costs basically, of the engineering's time. Is that going to be all encompassing in the, what we charge?
As the program is right now,
Right.
no, the initial study, the traffic study
Yes.
and everything is no. That's all set up right now. The engineering design for any construction that might be done is included in that assessment. But
Okay.
as the program is set up right now, is the initial design work.
Okay,
So-
because there'll be considerable time on the engineering's part, that I'm concerned with.
And there might be, Milwaukee hasn't really had, I mean, certainly a traffic study does take time and effort. But again, to at least start the program out to see what we're up against. This is fill-in work, as I talked with Alderman May. I mean, you know, the projects, the priority is the projects that you pass in the budget coming up and for next year. And if we have time for 1, 2, 3 of these during the course of the year, we'll fit them in. We might only have time for one. We'll play it, we'll basically have to play it that way.
Okay. How long has, this plan been in place in Milwaukee that we're,
It's been
Well,
at least
so-
a number of years, that I don't know exactly. It's been a
Okay.
number of years.
and then how receptive are the people that, ask for this plan?
They don't,
My
a lot of
concern-
them ask for it, like, for example, their example is usually during the course of the year, maybe 240 or so people might ask for the plan. They send out the packets. Maybe 50, 60 or so actually reply, and then when it gets down to the brass tacks, when it comes to the special assessing
Right.
people,
Right.
then they might get 1 or 2 a year.
Okay, that was my concern also. The assessment is, I would say, the sticking point, because
Yes.
I guess I'm looking at it from the perspective of all the people that come to council. When we want to put in a new street or put in a new alley, there's always people that say we don't really need it and they don't wanna pay for it. And-
No, absolutely, and this is what,
Yes.
these are the questions I want you
Right,
to ask him
and-
during the
right,
week,
Yes.
and then in 2 weeks, I want you to come out with this.
Right, well, thank you for
Mhm,
allowing
absolutely.
me to ask
Yep.
that,
And anytime,
Mr. Chair.
Because
I'm
tonight
around.
it's just being introduced, so,
Right, I
and it
know.
gives us a couple weeks to,
Well, I read the whole report, and obviously it was very well done. The only thing is, I do have a concern what
think
what
we
the
all do.
constituents will.
I think we all do.
And right, you should.
And again, it is gonna come back in 2 weeks, and then that's when we're gonna discuss it in more detail. Number 13 on tonight's agenda,
Move for approval.
No, place on file.
Yeah.
Place on file?
Yeah, I talked with the consultant and they dropped their request.
Move to place on file?
alright, so let's get the motion by Alderman Chaplusky, a second. Second by Alderman Weigel. Further discussion, Alderman Rowe.
I guess I'm glad it was placed, cause I was gonna ask, it just sounds like they were kinda, well, if the city's gonna give it to us, we're gonna ask for it. Was that kind of the sense? And it was pulled 2 weeks ago, real quickly out of our
Well,
committee also.
I mean, well, I had a chance to take a look at it there, and I immediately questioned it, so that's
Okay.
why I asked you to.
Thank you.
They had some legitimate reasons, but I think I had some legitimate reasons to tell them no.
Okay.
Alderman Chaplusky, more? Or any further discussion? With that, it's been moved by Alderman Chaplusky, seconded by Alderman Weigel, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. That concludes Public Works, and I'll turn the meeting over to Alderman Michael Chaplusky, Chairman of License and Health. Alderman Chaplusky.
Well, license health committee to order. First thing, David Zarate? Zarate. Okay.
You get first,
Come
you
on
get to come and
up.
sit up here and then relax.
Okay, you're gonna be taking over the little place then. I just call it the little place.
Right.
So a lot of people have been in there, and it is a little place. I think the other person took over the one on Mitchell Street. Have you ever run a bar before?
Actually, my uncle has not. I'm actually just here. I'm their nephew and representing them as their attorney. They're nervous, so they wanted me to come give them moral support, and I've just been helping them work around with the deal, and again, just here to help them.
So have you run a?
So who's David
Never done
Girardi? Oh, okay.
You've never done anything like this before?
No.
Okay, it's an interesting business. You never know who's gonna walk through the door. And especially at that location, because you're right there with the residential. And see, and our policy is that you have to put up with the residential people, they don't have to put up with you. So you gotta be very considerate to them, and it's mainly the people that go outside to smoke. You know, they're out there, sometimes they're making a lot of noise, they cannot take any drinks out there. And, just remember all those things, always card. You know, and, we send in undercover people to try to sell, and new people usually are a target, so you can expect that. Anybody else have anything?
Mr. Chair,
All in white.
who's gonna be actually running the bar? You're gonna-
We will.
Okay, so do either of you bartended anywhere?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with the laws
Oh,
about,
yeah, we
you
know.
can't go to the liquor store and buy
Right,
beer and
right.
liquor, you're only from licensed wholesalers? You know, the closing time, that's not just a suggestion,
Oh, yeah.
Right.
right? Everybody out the door, doors
Oh.
locked, just staff there and all that. Cause there have been people in the past who've just didn't know these things or didn't get, and understand the seriousness of it.
Yeah, we were all through all the rules and stuff, basically, yeah, we.
So one of you has taken the class already to get a
Yes.
license? Okay, so you're the
Oh, we
responsible,
both took the
you both
class,
took the
yeah.
responsible servers course?
Mhm.
Okay. You know, I think Alderman Chapletsky hit on all the high points about being careful, card people.
Right.
You know, and I'll say the kids, but it, you know, it's 20-year-olds. They know, they know, oh, it's a new bar, let's go try that place, you know, and you'll get a reputation either as a place that cards people or a place that doesn't.
Right.
And then what'll happen is a 20-year-old or a 17-year-old get picked up somewhere, and when the police ask them where they got their alcohol, they're gonna tell them.
Oh, right.
They're gonna roll right over. You don't wanna be
Wanna
under,
be, yeah.
under the, you know, in
Right.
that position, so. Do you have a time frame on, you doing your remodeling, or is it just kinda going and,
It's kinda just going in.
okay, so as
Yeah.
soon as you get the licenses and everything on inspections done, so like a couple weeks probably, or are you ready to go
About a week, we had all inspections
all
done already.
inspections are done already?
We had approval.
Yeah, I wish, well, I think I can't speak, I think I probably speak for everyone, we wish you luck, but we wish that you know, run a kind of place that you'll be proud of and that we can be proud of also.
Safe place for them.
Mr. Chairman, this guy, are you two gonna be the bartenders?
Yes.
Is like a morning and, or afternoon, nighttime,
Afternoon.
or both together, whichever?
Yeah.
You're gonna hire some bartenders also?
Eventually,
Eventually.
yeah.
Okay, just make sure that you tell them the rules also.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause that's usually where the problems run into. I just had a liquor store for the second time. Got caught selling to an underage person, and he called me and he goes, "Oh, it was a new bartender, and I didn't know didn't know he was supposed to ask for IDs." That's no excuse. That's no
No.
excuse. Card.
Yep.
If somebody comes in and they have a card, and you're not sure about it, you can say, "I'm going to hold this and call the police in a little bit, and we're just going to verify this thing. And if they ask for that ID back, you know that they're too
Yeah,
young." It's a good little trick, so
Okay.
it works. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
So any further discussion? Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Or a second.
Okay, second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Before we separate, we were just a little bit confused as to, she was also submitted for the bartender's license as well. And I don't know if they included that in this because they did the background check, or if there's a separate, she's gonna have to come back again for an appearance.
Did she get a letter to come to appear?
No.
When did you apply for that
About
bartender's license?
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You could be, if you have a perfect record and there's no blemishes on your record, you won't even be called in.
Yeah.
It's issued automatically. The only people we call in for bartender's licenses is with violations on their record. Then they come in front of us. So
2
you
weeks
might
ago?
not even hear from us.
Good.
What's your last name?
Zarate.
Zarate.
It
Zarate?
might have been a week ago or a week and a half.
Yeah, it's probably still out for background check.
Yeah, nothing yet.
Nothing yet? Okay.
Yeah, because we sent a background check out on it and everything, so it takes usually a couple weeks, so. Okay.
Thank you so very
Thank
much.
Okay.
Yep, thank you. Good luck
Michael
again.
Lane.
Thanks.
Okay, so you're gonna be taking over the old Magoo's.
Yeah,
What was it before it was Magoo's?
Mariah's.
Mariah. So,
Salmon Suds.
Nightmare, Mariah. So that's why I remembered him, so. You obviously done this before?
20 years in the industry, last 15 years at Jimmy B's.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Yeah,
Alderman
Mr. Chairman.
Garza?
Looking down on your record, and you do have a couple of operating while intoxicated? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
15, 16 years ago, I believe.
Yep, you have two of them.
No, operating, yeah, just one.
I think one was court and one was.
Okay, they might be the same thing.
Yeah,
It's listed
operating.
twice.
Yeah,
I was
I
looking
only
at that.
made a
Alright.
mistake once.
Right. And just remember when that happened, somebody probably overserved you, I'm gonna guess. And remember that same responsibility when you're serving.
Yep.
That if you see somebody, you can usually tell when somebody's starting to get a little overserved. Make sure that they have a ride home, make sure they do Uber, make sure they do ride safe, whatever happens. But it's kind of your responsibility to make sure that
Actually, with
everything
the
happens right.
bartenders I trained at Jimmy B's, they are taught how to do that, and to send out taxis, we take care of the money for them, and trust me, I've learned from my mistake on that one.
Fantastic. Move for approval?
Second.
I just want to say, move subject to necessary requirements.
Yes.
I understand there's something with blocking off the garbage cans or something behind the place?
Yeah, actually, I went
That,
through
planning?
and we had went and applied for a temporary occupancy. A lot of stuff I want to take care of. The place doesn't look good right now. It is. We have to go and do a thorough cleanup, pull the weeds, clean everything up from what
Fantastic.
way it was left. It's in sad shape
What's
right
your-
now.
And your timetable on that, Mike?
We are waiting. The person that has liquor license right now is on it's business trip, so I'm waiting for them to surrender the license. We have to get approval. As soon as I can get in there, we're going to work.
Okay. So, but you're subject to,
Necessary requirements.
you know, anything that has to be done back there, so.
Not a problem.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair, Mike, you're gonna be running, I mean, you keeping the name?
No, we're going to be changing it to Fourth and Long.
Oh, I think I saw that. But,
Right.
and so, substantially the same kind of operation?
A little bit better scale than what they have.
Yeah, I see you have bands.
We might have a friend of mine does like rockabilly, classic rock, Johnny Cash kind of stuff. We might have his two-piece band in there. Just miles. We aren't going to be throwing no heavy metal bands or anything like that in there.
That's all I want. Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the findings and recommendations for Big Dogs. Were they asked to appear?
No. They were asked to be
So,
Does poetry readings anyway.
Not in the bar.
it's on the appearance schedule here, so. We have this, we have 40 and 41.
Scott?
There's summons and complaint in.
They were supposed to reply by Thursday with a written response to the findings and recommendation, and all I got was that simple email, but I didn't receive anything further from Mr. Jakowski or his attorney.
What'd they say in the email? I'm not familiar with that.
Should be attached,
Just that they're looking at another place,
yeah.
you know, that they're looking around, they've got another place and they're working with them or something.
Trying to put us off, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which they've had lots of time already.
And Mr. Chair?
Alderman
And the
Weidman.
law is 30 days after they ceased operation, is that correct?
It's subject to revocation.
Subject to
Or is
revocation.
it after the complaint was filed, Scott?
No, well, after 30 days of non-operation, they're subject to revocation. You received a complaint alleging that they haven't operated in that time. They didn't appear and contest it.
So, we just placed findings and recommendation on file, and we got the summons and complaints, so we start a hearing, or we
Well, no,
don't have to?
I would approve the findings and recommendations and
Approve them
proceed.
both?
I mean, they haven't appeared to contest anything. They've had 2 chances now, and they
Right.
still haven't, so
So we
they're
approve
not
the
contesting
finding and
it.
recommendations and the summons?
that can be placed on file once you approve the findings and recommendations.
Okay. Okay, so, number 40 is the finding and recommendations, do I have a motion?
Move for approval, Mr.
Second.
Chairman.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. And then do I have a motion to place number 41 on file?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Then we have Mike Ware, let's see, for Crawdaddies. We didn't ask him to appear, did we?
No, he's right there.
Is it?
Yeah, they're right back there.
Didn't even see him. Okay.
Before we talk about me, could you explain to me what just happened? Because we were here 2 weeks ago and you voted to revoke, and now they didn't show up last time, they didn't show up this time.
Gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's going
They
to
don't,
be
they don't
revoked.
have, the license they're holding no longer is, well, the whole council has to vote on it, but it doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
And so this, number 42 is voting to approve a license for Crawdaddies.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
Subject to necessary requirements.
Right.
The motion was exactly subject to the necessary requirements.
And I'll second that, subject to necessary requirements.
I've read through your plan, I think we know what you're gonna do. You heard everything else about the carding, you've been through it a little bit. So, I mean, that's the biggie, is those people trying to come in, underage drinking is everybody, the fake IDs.
Our bartenders will be well trained.
Yeah.
You'll have video cameras, et cetera.
Yep.
You gonna keep that smoking room open?
Not as a smoking room. It's gonna be a lounge for our guests that are waiting for a table.
Oh, okay,
Because we anticipate people will be waiting for a table.
that'd be excellent.
You get good, KLH was good response on that, I don't know if you heard that. They're talking about places that people missed, they brought up crawdaddies, and wait a second, they're coming back.
41 calls in a half hour they got. I called them that afternoon and asked how many responses they got for crawdaddies, and they called me back and they said there was 41 people called. So.
That's good, so it's a good sign, so we wish you luck. So,
Yeah.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Good luck.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks guys.
full steam ahead. When you plan on opening, last one? What's your,
Necessary approval.
I know.
Yeah, we've got.
what's up in your head?
We've submitted our drawings today. We've got 8 to 10 days for approval. We're looking at about 30 days for the build out, and we're shooting for December, but that's really aggressive.
So somewhere between December 1st and January 1st
Yeah, that's
is your
mid-December.
Closer to January.
Mid-December.
New Year's Eve. Ooh, what a party. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Charlene Hart. Did everybody receive the stipulation?
Yes.
For complaint? Okay, any comments?
If you wanna discuss it, you probably ought to do it in closed session, if you wanna discuss the merits of a stipulation.
Except for it's not on the agenda.
You have a closed session scheduled?
Yeah,
Is
Right
it?
there,
There is.
item number D, closed session.
Should always, yeah. I think we said always,
There we go. Yeah, I know,
Yep.
and it just,
right? We said always have
You
it on
did,
there.
yes.
yeah, I remember I called and left you a message and I'm reading it and I missed it. So, okay.
I personally would like to go into closed session and discuss it.
Should we finish up the rest of the appearances first then?
Yes.
Wait, we got this one here, 44 is the same, 45 is the same.
I don't think we
They're all
have
for the
any
same one, so it is at the end.
43 to 46.
All right,
Yeah.
you need to read.
I'll start reading it.
Oh,
Please
God.
take notice that the Licensed Health Committee of the City of West Dallas will hold a meeting Tuesday, October 20th at approximately 7:30 p.m. or soon thereafter as matters can be heard in room 128 West Dallas City Hall, West Dallas, Wisconsin. To consider a motion to convene in closed session at said time in room 113 to deliberate and confer with the city attorney regarding the following matters, findings and recommendations regarding Big Dog Sports Grill, and stipulation in the matter or complaint of Beecher's Corner Spot LLC. A closed session for the above purpose is authorized pursuant to the provisions of Wisconsin statutes section 19.851A and G, which authorizes government. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, do I have a motion to go into closed session? So moved.
Second.